I gotta provide you is food, water, and shelter. All that other stuff you don't
That
need.
sounds simple, but for a lot of families, safety and belonging show up very differently. Back in 1943, Abraham Maslow drew a pyramid to show how humans chase needs, starting with the basics and working up to self fulfillment. So let's explain Maslow's hierarchy of needs in a way that actually makes sense and then apply some cultural context. There are 5 levels in Maslow's pyramid, and each level is a stepping stone to the next one. Our first level is the most basic needs, physiological needs. So these are your biological requirements for survival. So air, water, food, shelter, clothing, sleep. Those are the things that we need to survive. Once we have those, essentially, we're supposed to move to our next level of security and predictability in the environment. So, your safety needs. So, personal security, no violence, crime, or war. Health and well being, stable environment, financial security, and some safety net. And then our next level focuses on social connection and acceptance. So, love and belonging, family, friendships, community, romantic relationships. Ooh, yo man, yo man, yo man. Our next level is all about recognition, competence, and respect. So, this is your esteem, your self respect. How confident are you? Your reputation, recognition, and achievement. Then the last level is realizing one's full potential. Maslow calls this self actualization. So, this is creativity, personal growth, your moral development, pursuit of meaning, purpose driven actions, like what makes you happy, what gives you joy. Now, these levels sound cool and attainable. Like, yes, you have your basic needs, then when those are met, you go to your next level. But it's important to remember Maslow was writing from a Western individual perspective. So, in many communities of color, needs are communal. So, your worth, your safety, or even your chance to be your best self is tied to your family, church, and like your neighborhood where you're growing up. So, belonging isn't just nice, it keeps you going. Maslow's model is often praised for its simplicity. Its core principle is that individuals strive for betterment after their basic needs are met. It has guided fields like education, healthcare, and organizational psychology. In marginalized communities, this theory helps identify critical areas for support, such as addressing food insecurity and systemic safety concerns. So, for me, I often think about the Black Panthers. They knew how important it was for us to have our basic needs met in order to get the education that we needed to get out of the system that we were currently in. They knew that we had to have these basic needs met in order to go out in the world and fight for our rights. So, in a sense, the hierarchy in needs model is useful. It points out that if you don't have food or housing, you can't focus on bigger goals because your survival needs are not met. But it misses a lot of systemic stuff like racism, trauma, housing insecurity. Those barriers can reshuffle that pyramid or make the climb very, very messy. So, if I'm born into the world where it's already hard for me to get my basic needs of survival met, of course, it's going to take me a while to get to the top of the pyramid because I'm fighting to survive instead of striving to be self actualized. So, in everyday life, Maslow's framework encourages communities to recognize and prioritize holistic well being. Educators working with students of color are incorporating culturally responsive teaching methods to foster both safety and belonging in the classroom. Also, mental health practitioners use this framework to address trauma in Black and Indigenous communities by focusing on foundational needs like safety and identity before moving towards emotional growth. And I think that's so important. A lot of these kids are going through a lot of things. They don't know when their next meal is. And we want to talk about, they're bad, they're mad, they're mean, they're angry. Okay, can we make sure they eat first? Let's give them something to eat first. Let's give them their basic needs first, and then we can work on their emotional growth. But it's very hard to when you're struggling, you know? So there are a lot of community programs based on Maslow's models, like food networks and safe housing initiatives. What do we do with this information? What we've always done. We take this theory, which wasn't made with us in mind, but we learned from it and we use it as a resource. We need to start with our basics: food, safe spaces, steady income. But we cannot stop there. It's more than that. We need to build belonging through culture, protect identity, and practice small steps for esteem. Celebrate wins, share stories, pass down positive tools. It's time to break generational curses. So next time grandma get to yapping her gums about she did her best providing food, water, and shelter, tell her that was only the bare minimum. Sign off. I am not responsible for anything that may happen if you actually say that to your elders.